Hi, I'm Joe Knetter. I'm a writer, originally from Rochester. Grew up in the lovely town of Eyota, Minnesota, and finally realized at some point in my life that you can move. So I got the fuck out of here. I started writing, probably 16, 17 years ago, kind of just as a goof more than anything, on the old Fangoria message boards, which some people watching may not remember message boards, but before we had Facebook and all that kind of shit, we had message boards. And Fangoria was a magazine, a horror magazine I grew up on. And they were looking for stories, so I wrote 3 and they took it. And that was kind of my start as a writer. I've written half a dozen anthology-type short story collections. A novel called Zombie Bukkake, Dying to Get Off, which got me on the History Channel, of all things, which was quite amazing. Through doing the writing, I did a lot of book tours, horror conventions mainly, and I got to meet a lot of people who then wanted me to work on their movies and their screenplays. With introductions from, my first was Sid Haig, wonderful Captain Spaulding, who just passed away, which is a good friend of mine. So I started doing that and found that I loved that way more, mainly because it's easier. You know, I can write a screenplay in a few days. It's wonderful to see it come to life. And I got to meet my girlfriend, the lovely Sarah French, who I cut her head off in our first movie. And that's been absolutely beautiful. We've been kind of doing this together for a number of years. Since leaving Minnesota 5 years ago, though, we hadn't worked together until early this year, when a mutual friend of ours, Marcel Walls, who's a director from Germany, had an idea. He had a dream, actually, that he was shooting a movie in his house about a blind girl and somebody looking at her and kind of stalking her in a weird way. So he came over to our house for pizza night, and we started kicking around some ideas. I wrote the outline for the film the next day, finished the screenplay 5 days later, and we wrapped production 5 weeks to the day of his dream, which is amazing because what we were trying to do is prove that friends can work together. Everybody that worked on our movie Blind, which is the big one we're promoting now, is a close friend of ours. Someone we've got to know in LA, and we consider a close friend. So we have a good core group of friends that we thought, hey, let's make a movie. And we did. I mean, it's stars Sarah French, again I'll mention, because I like booty time, and I get booty every time I mention her. So Sarah French, Sarah French, Sarah French, Sarah French, Sarah French. The thing about Sarah French is she's so Sarah French, and she's so fantastic in this movie. Plays a blind woman who was an actress that just had her biggest kind of movie hit. She bought her dream house in the Hollywood Hills. It's made of glass in the back, and she has LASIK surgery because she doesn't want to wear her glasses or contacts, and unfortunately she loses her vision. So we pick up 2 years later of her trying to put her life back together, someone who's lived with cinema, and I can relate to that because I grew up with movies. Movies were my friends. I mean, the people that were in them, the monsters. And for her, losing that is losing everything, and she doesn't know what to do with her life. So she's trying to decide how to live and how to continue on. All the while, there is a man named Pretty Boy, played by Jed Rowan, who likes her quite a bit and decides he wants to spend a little more time with her, unbeknownst to her.
I can't see myself in.
Wrote it as a festival piece, knowing that it would live or die there. And so far we've got, in 6 weeks of playing festivals, we won 17 awards, 6 for Best Actress, 5 for Best Film. Marcel's won a couple for Best Director. So it's been wonderful, and it's really cool to come back to Minnesota to screen it, because the Twin Cities Film Fest, it's very popular, internationally known. I mean, Green Book won last year and then went on to win the Oscars. So for our little movie we made with friends, getting an opportunity to play there and screen with all of our friends and family is wonderful. And did I mention Sarah French is in it, playing the lead? Sarah French, my girlfriend, booty time.